I'm Emma McDonald and I work here as a full-time pilot and operations manager at Matt Hall Racing. I'm completely in my element flying these aerobatic aircraft and also our charter aircraft. This is where I like to be.
Don't you know I'm here to win this twisted game? You try to, but you'll never get away from this. I'm aiming and I never miss.
Our beautiful charter aircraft. This one's our dedicated Wings for Kids aircraft to take all our regional families around New South Wales and bring them into Sydney to their specialist appointments. Some of the children are disabled, so we've got a nice big air stair, nice big cabins. I know all the families we currently have with Wings for Kids. I'm quite close with a lot of them. Sometimes they're going into Sydney and it's not necessarily good news every time, but we certainly build that relationship so we can help make them feel a bit better about it and try and bring that little bit more happiness to them. So this is one of my offices. Part of my job is I keep all our avionics up to date.
So yeah, if you can pre-flight the MXS and get it out before 2 o'clock.
Yep, oh that's easy to.
Right, cheers.
Very happy to be part of it, and so that's what we do to help the community. I started my own pole fitness studio of all things when I was 18, then jumped into an apprenticeship as a diesel fitter. Along that journey I've always wanted to fly since I was a little kid, and so I enrolled at my local aero club, started the flying, and that's when I went to an air show with my dad to see Matt doing his high energy display at the Raglan Air Show, and that's where I said to my dad, I want to do what he does. And Dad was always supportive, but realistic in saying that it's a lot of time, effort and money to do that particular type of flying. So I was like, yeah, that's not impossible. So I went out and spoke to Matt on how to go about getting into that industry. So he gave me a few points, and a couple of years down the track where they were looking for a pilot to start working here at Matt Hall Racing, I took the leap of faith and applied. Matt was like, yeah, we'll get you started and we'll see where it takes you, and I actually got the job. And I've just been building since then, going through doing the charter, doing Wings for Kids, then into the joy flights with the aerobatics, and now I find myself doing air displays and also selected for the Air Race series, and went over to the UK last year as one of 8 in the world to participate in the academy. So I'm working my way to achieving that dream.
I'm aiming and I never miss. I'm dangerous. I'm out for blood. I got my hand on the trigger, wanna have some fun. I get a rush, do what I must. Baby, you better start running, 'cause here I come. I'm dangerous.
There's always full throttle wherever I'm going. For me, if I failed, it just means that's a learning experience for me, and I need to learn why did it fail and let's fix it and try again. Use a failure to your advantage as opposed to letting that push you down. So even when I started as a fitter, on my very first day I had my supervisor single me out in front of all the apprentices there and say, you don't belong here, and girls don't belong on the floor, you'll never be good enough here. So that was my first day and I'm like, whoa. Like, I was the only female. I was expecting I'd probably get a bit of that when I started in that industry. I had a lot of confidence in what I could do and worked really, really hard to show them I could be the best fitter I could be. And in that, I ended up winning Apprentice of the Year for that year and went on to competing in the Asia Pacific Apprentice of the Year competitions. I only just missed out on first by like 2 points, so it was so close, it was nail biting, but it was great fun. That same supervisor that had told me that, we're actually really good friends, and he highly respects what I do, and I ended up working beside him in that sense. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved being a fitter. We're fixing all kinds of machines and something different every day. Sometimes you'd walk up to a machine that you've never even seen or heard of before and you're like, okay, now I've got to fix this thing. So I love variety. It keeps me entertained and keeps the challenge going. If I am just working on the same thing every day, routine, there's no challenge in there for me. So there's got to be that bit of challenge. So now I'm here managing stuff, but also able to get out and continue being on the tools, as you'd say. I love doing pre-flights because I get to look at the aircraft in a mechanical sense and looking at what's wearing, what's not, making sure everything's free and not getting bound up, and you can feel any kind of restriction in these ailerons. Everything should run really smoothly. Have to pre-flight our parachutes and make sure they're all serviceable as well, because if we have an issue where we do have to jump out, that we want to make sure our parachutes are good for us. So he's training for an air display he's got on Saturday. I had the opportunity to apply for the air race, so I actually spoke to Matt about it and said, oh, I don't think I'll be good enough, you know, what do you reckon? Because I didn't want to embarrass myself and I also didn't want to embarrass the team. Matt said, no, I think you've got what they're looking for, so I think it's worth applying and we'll get you ready for it. It was my feelings holding me back as opposed to knowing that I could actually do it. I knew I had the skills to do it, I knew I could learn to do it, but once Matt gave me that pep talk, it was like, right, off you go. I went out there and proved that I could do it, so that felt good. When people say that I'm so lucky that I'm doing this, it's really not luck. It's a lot of hard work involved to get to be here. It's certainly not being lucky. I'm fortunate to be able to do this, but it's certainly not luck in any sense. I love working here, it's absolutely fantastic. It's just great. I feel like I've made my mark and continue to make my mark through the different careers I've had. Being a pole fitness instructor and studio owner, I was able to help men and women be confident within their own bodies and bring pole fitness to the mainstream fitness world. Then being a diesel fitter, I also made my mark showing that women can do what men do. There is no boundaries there, and with aviation I'm now leading the way, especially through the aerobatics, displays and now air racing.